Hello and welcome to Higher Ground Gaming. This is Eric. My co-host Mr. Brody's there. Ready, Mr. Brody? Mr. Brody's all set there with Purple Monkey and Blue Duck. Getting ready to broadcast the game number 161 of the Red Sox season. Red Sox still 2 games out. They have won their last 8. Unfortunately, the Yankees have won their last 3. And they're still 2 games out. The Red Sox basically pretty simple. The Red Sox need to win these next 2 games to close out the season. And the Yankees need to lose the next 2 games against the Cleveland Indians. Unfortunately, the Cleveland Indians have lost 10 in a row coming into today's game. So the Indians really have their work cut out for them. And they're going up against Ed Figueroa for the Yankees, who's won 19 games so far. And has pitched, I think, a little bit better probably than Ron Guidry in the replay. Although pretty close, both of them. In the actual season, Guidry won the Cy Young. But Figueroa is up there today. So Red Sox can win this game. We can make things interesting. Mr. Brody's getting up there. Stretching it out there. Alright, you ready, Mr. Brody? Oh, he's coming over. Oh, he's looking over here now. Alright, nope. He's going to come over and chat with me for a second. But anyway, while we do that, we'll play the national anthem and get this game underway with Jesee Jefferson on the hill against Dennis Eckerslay for the Red Sox.
Welcome to the stadium for today's ball game.
It's a beautiful day here at Fenway. Mr. Brody saw me bring out the crackers, so that's why he came back here. Anyway, I put him back now, so he'll go back to the co-host seat. So game 161, a must-win for the Red Sox. Dennis Eckerslay on the hill. They have their ace. He's won 24 games and making a serious bid for Cy Young Award winner. To become the Cy Young Award winner. And I think Guidry actually won 25 games on the actual season. Guidry's not going to win 25, but Eckerslay, I think, is leading the league with those 24 wins. So if he can get the win today, he'll make an extremely strong case for Cy Young Award winner, as I think he already has one now. So Eckerslay comes in 24-8, 4 wins more than in the actual season, 2.85 earned run average, a little bit better than his ERA on the actual season. 275 innings pitched with 251 hits allowed. 67 walks and 151 strikeouts, and has surrendered 29 homers. So the defense for... As Mr. Brody gets back in the co-host seat. Oh, he's coming back here. No, go back. Go ahead, Mr. Brody. I think Mr. Brody thought he heard a cracker fall on the ground, but he did not. So Yastrzemski in left, Lynn in center, Rice in right. In the Evans is available, but we're not going to switch Rice out of there. Otherwise, we'd have to... we'd lose our DH if we put, no, we wouldn't actually. Yeah, we would. Because if we left Rice in and brought Evans in to play right, we would have to, yeah, that wouldn't work out. So unfortunately, we could have changed the lineup, but we left it the same. We wanted to be as realistic as possible. So Brohammer, Burleson, Remy, and Scott in the infield. So again, Brohammer starting at third. And Fisk behind the plate. So the lineup for the Toronto Blue Jays is going to be Bassetti, the center fielder, will bat first, followed by Bob Baylor, the right fielder. Batting third is Roy Howell, the third baseman. Batting cleanup, John Mayberry at first. Alvin Elwoods, the left fielder, will hit fifth, followed by Willie Upshaw, the DH. Batting seventh, Alan Ashby, who homered in yesterday's game, making things interesting. The Red Sox were able to pull it off in the bottom of the ninth. That was an exciting game. If you haven't checked out that one, definitely check that out to keep the Red Sox alive. Mr. Brody is allowing Purple Monkey the co-host seat, kindly sitting in front of it. Mr. Brody nervous for this game here, as the Red Sox is it a must-win for the Red Sox. So McKay, the second baseman, bats eighth, and Luis Gomez, the shortstop, bats ninth. So Bassetti steps up to the plate. He's hitting .237 on the season, 22 points behind his average, 3 homers and 30 runs batted in. So Brohammer and Scott in on the grass against Bassetti. Eckerslay looks in for the sign from Fisk, nods his head, kicks and delivers. It's going to be off the 4 column, which is where you want to be if you're a Red Sox. And right away, the range check on Brohammer, so thankfully Hobson's not in there. Hopefully Brohammer can get to this one. And he'll get to it. And make the play. That probably would have been an error on Hobson. So Brohammer with a nice play there over to Scott. And Bassetti is retired for out number 1. So Bob Baylor up now, hitting .267 with a homer and 39 runs batted in. Kick and delivery by Eckerslay. And that's going to be a ground ball to third also. Brohammer up with over to first. And I was watching an interesting replay in yesterday's, on YouTube. It happened to the video happened to show up in my rotation there after I can't remember, I was watching something, and they showed the Cubs-Reds game, and Eckersley first game he pitched when he was with the Cubs before he became a closer with the A's, and in his first game, I guess he hadn't batted in 10 years, and in his first at bat he drew a walk. But anyway, in that game there was a controversial call where Ron Say hit a what thought was a home run down the left field line, curling around the rookie umpire. I can't remember his name. Said that the ball curved. It's at Wrigley Field, curved around the foul pole, and the fan caught it. But anyway, there was like a half an hour delay there, as originally they called it a home run, and then the home plate umpire overruled, and then there was Chicago. I think it's Jim Fry, is it? Whoever the Chicago manager was at the time. And Don Zimmer was the third base coach, and Don Zimmer got into it too. And it was originally called a home run by the Cubs, and then it was overruled, and then the Cubs fans went nuts, and they threw stuff on the field, and all kinds of wackiness going on there. But anyway, I guess Mario Soto ended up getting ejected for bumping the umpire eventually. Not initially wasn't thrown out, but then was ejected and came charging out in the field, and there was a benches clearing brawl, and Zimmer ended up, I think, getting in the way, because I guess Soto was going for the umpire, and Zimmer tackled him. Well, yeah, he and I think Richie Hebner for the Cubs tackled Soto before they could get to, or maybe it wasn't Hebner, but anyway, somebody else before they could get to the umpires, and so Soto was ejected, and another the manager for the Cubs was ejected, but anyway, it was a game that Eckersley's first game after being traded from the Red Sox to the Cubs, so I thought that was kind of interesting. I think the Reds ended up winning 4-3. I believe, but anyway, so that was an interesting game there. But anyway, back to this action. So Roy Howell up now. Howell comes in hitting .267 with only 2 homers on the season with 54 runs batted in. Ooh, gets a chance here, though. But takes a called third strike. So the Indians, the Toronto will go in order in the first. So Toronto nothing, and Boston coming up. So Jefferson on the hill. Jefferson just 9-15 on the season. Has won 2 more games than on the actual season. Only 7 on the actual season. 4.13 earner and average, 198 innings pitched, 186 hits allowed. 70 walks, 110 strikeouts, already 13 more strikeouts, and has surrendered 4 less home runs with 24. So the defense behind him is going to be Woods in left, Vassetti in center, Baylor in right. The infield is Howell, Gomez, McKay, and Mayberry at first. And Ashby behind the plate. So the Red Sox lineup, game 161, is going to be Rick Burleson, the shortstop, will bat first, followed by Jerry Remy, the second baseman, batting third, AL MVP and in the actual season, and definitely should get a lot of votes in this one, in the replay, as he's destroyed his home run total, as you'll see it in a few moments, of 46, and RBI total. He's beaten that, so he should get the MVP in this replay, I would think. So batting cleanup is the left fielder, Kyle Yastrzemski. Batting fifth, behind the plate, Carlin Fisk. Fred Lynn, the center fielder, bats sixth. Butch Hobson at DH bats seventh. George Scott, the first baseman, hits eighth, and Jack Brohammer at third bats ninth. So Burleson steps in with a .275 average, 3 homers, and 46 runs batted in. Jefferson looks in for the sign from Ashby, kicks and delivers. It's going to be off the sixth column. And that's going to be a leadoff walk on the check swing. So Burleson is on to start off the game. So that'll bring up Jerry Remy. Remy will hit away, hitting .296, 3 homers, and 45 runs batted in. It's going to be a hit and run. And broken bat. McKay over to first as Burleson moves into scoring position, so it works the same as a sacrifice. So Burleson in scoring position with 1 down. Now let's look at Jim Rice's stats. Jim Rice hitting .314, just 1 point off of his average. 53 home runs, yes, 53, 7 more than the actual season. So he's had an extremely hot September. 144 runs batted in, 5 RBIs over his total for the season. So see if he can add to that now, or an RBI opportunity here. So Rice steps in the box, ready to grip and rip against Jefferson. Jefferson looks in for the sign, looks at the runner, kicks and delivers. And it's going to be off the 5 column. And that's going to be a pop-up to short. So Gomez will make the catch for out number 2. So that'll bring up the captain, Kyle Yastrzemski, hitting .271 with 16 homers, 75 runs batted in. His next home run will equal his total for the season. Again, off the 5 column. And that's going to be a ground ball to second. McKay up with the Mayberry. And that'll do it for the Red Sox in the first. So after 1 full, it's no score. Mayberry will lead it off for the Blue Jays in the second. .252 with 20 homers and 66 runs batted in. 5 column. And that's going to be a fly ball to right. Rice camps under it and makes the catch for out number 1. So it'll be up Al Woods. .258 hitter with 5 homers, 30 runs batted in. 2 more homers and 5 more RBIs than on the actual season. And that's going to be a fly ball to center off the 4 column of Eckerslay. Deep center. Lynn goes after it, races hard, dives. So a nice diving catch. Definitely saved extra bases there for the second out of the second. That'll bring up Willie Upshaw. .240 on the season with a homer and 15 runs batted in. And it'll be a fly ball to right. Rice is under and makes the catch. So after 1.5, no score. So Fisk will lead off. It'll be Fisk, Lynn, and Hobbs if anybody gets on Scott against Jefferson. Fisk hitting .283 with 18 homers, 79 runs batted in. Homered in yesterday's game. It's going to be out the 5 column. And Fisk is going to get the rare 2 split, and that is going to be over the Green Monster for home run number 19 on the season, RBI number 80, to give the Red Sox a 1-0 lead. So Fisk goes deep again. I think yesterday's home run also gave the Red Sox the early lead. So hopefully that's going to happen again today. Well, it does happen again today. Hopefully that'll be a good sign. As Fred Lynn comes up to the plate now. Lynn hitting .292 on the season with 27 homers, 5 more than the actual season, and 91 ribbies, 9 more. So hopefully we can get a 2 column here and go back to back. And no, that will not happen off the 6th column. And that'll be a strike 3. Lynn was trying to go deep there, but missed it. So 1 down in the second for Butch Hobson, .271 with 17 homers equaling his RBI total. 66 runs batted in. That's going to be a ground ball to short. Gomez has it. Over to first. And that'll be out number 2. So the Boomer, Scott up now, hitting .246, 16 homers, 56 runs batted in, 4 more home runs and 2 more RBIs than on the actual season. And he's got a chance here. Come on, high roll. Nope, we won't got the low roll, but it is a range check on Baylor. Baylor, a average range, and it's going to drop in for a hit. Oh, it's going to be a rare play and a hit. Let's see what that is. Scott is thinking about 2. No jams on the break. Oh, man. The rare play. Scott overruns the bag. And Massetti throws behind him. And Scott is out. As Mr. Brody comes back in. Gets back in the co-host seat. So that'll do it. But the Red Sox do get on the board on the solo home run, number 19 of the season for Fisk. And lead at 1-0 after 2. So Ashby will lead it up, bottom third of the order. Ashby, McKay, and Gomez. Ashby homered in yesterday's game, is 9th of the season. Hitting .322, much better at 61 points higher than his actual average. 9 homers and 39 ribbies. 10 more ribbies than on the actual season. Lines this one out to Burleson for out number 1. So Dave McKay up now. McKay having a monster season power-wise. 17 home runs, only had 7 on the actual season. 69 ribbies, 24 more RBIs. So definitely outperforming his power season power-wise. And he's got a chance here. Grounds it to Brohammer at third. Stabs at it, gets it, over to first. The second, out number 2 of the second. So to bring up the weak hitting Gomez, .231 hitter with 33 runs batted in. 5 column. Ground ball to short. Burleson should have this one. He'll get to it. Over to Scott. And that'll do it for the Blue Jays as they go in order in the third. So after 2.5, it's Boston 1 and Toronto 0. So number 9 hitter Brohammer will lead it off for the Red Sox in the bottom of the third. Brohammer hitting .247 with 24 runs batted in. He'll strike out looking for out number 1. So Jefferson gets his second K of the day. So that'll bring up Rick Burleson. Walked in his first at bat. And just misses a walk and flies out to center for out number 2. So that'll bring up Jerry Remy, who grounded out. Back in the first. And he'll fly out. Foul one off first. Gets back in the box. And this time we'll fly out to center. And the Red Sox also go in order in the third. So after 3 full, it's 1-0 Red Sox. Eckerslay 38 pitches through 3 innings. Massetti grounded out in his first at-bat. And this time he'll fly out to the opposite field. Yastrzemski circles under and makes the play. So it'll be a Bob Baylor. Bob Baylor grounded out in his first at-bat. And he'll ground out to Brohammer again for out number 2. So 2 up and 2 down for the Indians. Brings up Roy Howell. Strikeout victim his first time up. And he strikes out again. Second K of the day for Eckerslay. So Eckerslay has set down all 12 Toronto batters so far through 4 innings. So Jim Rice will lead it off for the Red Sox in the 4th. Rice popped up in his first at-bat. Rice with a chance to go deep here. Again, we'll line out to Gomez. So, 1 out in the Red Sox 4th. So to bring up the captain, Carl Yastrzemski. Yastrzemski grounded out in his first at-bat. It's this one, the Gomez. Be a range check on Gomez. Gomez average range. Gets to it. Over to Mayberry for out number 2. So to bring up Fisk, homer in his first at-bat to put the Red Sox on the board first. This time strikes out swinging. And the Red Sox again go in order in the 4th, so after 4 full, it's still Red Sox 1 and Blue Jays nothing. Mayberry flew out in his first at-bat. It's this one to right. Long fly. Rice has a long run and hauls it in for out number 1. So that'll bring up Al Woods. Woods flew out in his first at-bat. And he gets a hold of one here. That one's going to go past Lynn. It's going to... Lynn jumps for it, bounds off the wall. And it's going to be a 2-bagger. That's the first hit for the Blue Jays. And Woods is on the tying run in scoring position now with 1 down. So it'll bring up Upshaw. Flew out in his first at-bat. And it's going to be a fly ball to right. Rice waits on it, pounds his mitt, and takes it in for out number 2 as Woods holds. So that'll bring up Alan Ashby. Lined out in his first at-bat. Grounds this one to Remy at second, over to Scott, and that'll do it. So the tying run is left in scoring position, and halfway through it's Boston 1 and Toronto nothing. It'll be Lynn, Hobson, and Scott up for the Red Sox here in the 5th. Lynn struck out in his first at-bat. This time he'll draw the walk in the dirt. So it brings up Hobson, grounded out his first time up. Grounds this one out again to Howell. It's going to be a range check on Howell. And he'll get to it. Oh, but he's going to boot it for his second error of the series. Over to first, which will beat it out. So they're going to give Howell an error. So Lynn moves up to second. So first and second with nobody out for the Boomer. Singled in his first at-bat. And he's going to drop the bunt down. Fielded by Jefferson. And Jefferson throws the ball away. That's going to be a 2-base error. Lynn will score from second. Hobson takes third. So the Blue Jays defense helping out the Red Sox here. No RBI in the play. But Scott will take that. So Scott surprisingly draws down a bunt. Blue Jays did not expect that, and Jefferson throws it away. So 2-0 now, with still nobody out, with the runners on second and third. So Brohammer can add to the Red Sox lead with a base hit. Struck out in his first at-bat, and he'll draw the walk to load the bases. So the Red Sox could blow the game wide open here. Burleson up now with the bases loaded and nobody out. Walked in the first and flew out in the third. And Burleson's going to get himself a base hit. Just missed that triple. And Hobson will come around. And Scott. So that'd be a 2-run single for Burleson. It's now a 4-0 Red Sox lead. So the Red Sox doing what they need to do here. Cleveland, see if Cleveland can help them out later on if this holds on here. So still nobody out with runners on the corners for Jerry Remy. He's 0 for 2. And Burleson's going to go. Oh, hold on here. So I must be managing the Blue Jays again. I'm just going to say they're going to throw for the runner. And he's safe. So Burleson's in there with a steal. So maybe I should have... Yeah, again, I'm managing the Blue Jays. Alright. Anyway. So Jerry Remy up there now. Burleson gets a stolen base. That's hit to McKay. Over to first in time. So Brohammer holds at third. So that'll bring him Jim Rice. He's 0 for 2 so far. And Rice will be intentionally walked. So that'll load the bases for the captain. Grounded out twice so far. Grounds this one to McKay. Over to first and gets him as one more run comes in the back door. Yastrzemski will get an RBI in the play there as he grounds out. So Burleson the third, Rice the second. It's now a 5-0 Red Sox lead. Fisk up now. Grounds this one to McKay. Over to first, and that'll do it. But the Red Sox score 4, and after 5 have a commanding 5-0 lead. So Eckersley sitting pretty right now. McKay will lead it off, grounded out in his first at bat. He strikes out. So that'll bring up Luis Gomez. Gomez 0 for 1. That 0 for 2 as he grounds out to Remy. So 2 up and 2 down for the Blue Jays in the 6th. Brings up Bassetti. 0 for 2 on the day. Grounds this one to Burleson. Charges it. Fires to first. And the Indians going... Blue Jays going over. I get the Indians on my mind because I'll be playing them next against the Yankees if this score holds up. So Freddie Lynn up now. Freddie Lynn struck out in the 2nd and walked in the 5th. And Lynn is going to single up the middle. So a good start for the Red Sox 6th. Picking up where they left off in the 5th. So Hobson reached on an error in the 5th, 0 for 2. Grounds this one back to Jefferson. Jefferson will get to it. Over to Mayberry for out number 1 as Lynn moves in the scoring position. So Scott reached on an error after late trying to sacrifice. Also got a single, so he's officially 1 for 1 because of the sacrifice. Did not get charged in that bat even though there's an error on the play. And Scott's going to get one to hit here. He'll ground this one to McKay at 2nd. Over to first as Lynn moves to 3rd. So 2 down now in the Red Sox 6th. So that'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Brohammer. Struck out in the 3rd, walked in the 5th, gets one to hit here. And grounds this one to McKay. Be a range check on McKay. McKay average range. Gets to it. Over to Mayberry to end the inning. So no further damage. It remains 5-0 after 6. Eckersley back on the hill. 70 pitches through 6 innings. Bale was grounded out twice. He'll lead it off for the Indians. Blue Jays here in the 7th. Grounds this one to Burleson. Moves in front of it. Takes a bad bounce. Stays with it. Over to first. For out number 1. Roy Howell struck out twice against Eckersley so far. Hits this one to right. Rice is under and grabs it for out number 2. So to bring up Mayberry. Mayberry's flown out twice today against Eckersley. And make that 3 times as he flies out to Rice. So the Indians go in order in the 7th. So here's the 7th inning stretch time. So, trivia question brought to you by Mr. Brody, Miss Mags, and Purple Monkey. Here's the question. Who was the first Hall of Fame player to later umpire? Oh, man. I think I know who it was, too. Oh, man. I think he played in the 60s, too, I want to say. I just can't think of his name now. Palermo? Was it Steve Palermo? No, it wasn't Palermo. I don't know. I can't think about it. All right, let's see. Who's the first Hall of Fame player to later umpire? No, that's not who I thought it was. Tim Keefe. Never even heard of him. So let's check it out here if we can. Nope, can't seem to get the page to load over here. Anyway. Alright, so Tim Keefe, first Hall of Fame player to later umpire. Let's see if we can bring it up here. Tim Keefe. So thank you, Mr. Brody and Miss Mags. Move on right now and see while the page is loading here. I don't know if it's going to load here. All right, so home half of the seventh here with the Red Sox up 5-0. Jefferson's still on the hill. Burleson is 1 for 2 with a 2-run single, also walked. And he'll ground out the third. Howell's up with it over to first for out number 1. So Jerry Remy 0 for 3 on the day. Will be 0 for 4 as he lines out to short. So it'll be up Jim Rice. He's popped out in the first, lined out in the fourth, and intentionally walked in the fifth. Might have one to hit here. And he'll ground out to McKay. Range check here. He gets to it. So Rice is now 0 for 4 on the day as he grounds out to McKay. So that'll do it for the Red Sox in the 7th. So we head to the 8th. It'll be Woods up Sean Ashby against Eckersley. Eckersley's allowed only 1 hit. A double to this man, Al Woods. And this time he gets revenge and strikes him out for out number 1. So Willie Upshaw now. He's flown out twice today. Pops this one out to Remy at second. Remy waits for it and makes the catch. So 2 gone in the Blue Jay 8th. I'll bring up Alan Ashby. Ashby's 0 for 2 on the day. Grounds this one to first. Scott grabs it, races to first, and beats Ashby for the out. So the Blue Jays go 1, 2, 3 in the 8th. And Red Sox continue to shut out the Blue Jays 5-0. So Jefferson's still out there, 102 pitches. Yastrzemski's grounded out 3 times. His last time he got an RBI for it. And he'll strike out this time looking. So 1 gone as Jefferson records his 4th strikeout of the day. Brings up Fisk. Homered back in the second, 1 for 3. And this time he'll fly out to Bassetti in center for out number 2. So 2 gone in the Red Sox 8th. Brings up Fred Lynn, 1 for 3 with a single. That 1 for 4 as he grounds out to Mayberry, races Lynn to the bag and beats him. So we head to the 9th with the Blue Jays down by 5. Eckersley looking to close it out here. Eckersley will face McKay, Gomez, and then top of the order, Bassetti. McKay 0 for 2 on the day so far. And this will be a range check on Scott. Scott gets to it. Leads Eckersley perfectly for out number 1. So that brings up Gomez. Luis Gomez is grounded out twice, and it's going to be a pinch hitter for Gomez. It's going to be Tim Johnson. Tim Johnson having a much better season in the replay, hitting .325 in 80 at-bats, with 8 runs batted in, 5 more than in the actual season. So he steps into the plate, up to the plate, and that's going to be a ground ball to Remy. He'll get to it. And the Blue Jays are down to their last out. It's going to be Bassetti. Bassetti 0 for 3 on the day. Here we go. Oh my goodness. And that spoils the shutout and the one-hitter, as Bassetti takes Eckerslay deep to put the Blue Jays on the board. So it's 5-1 now. Still no action in the Red Sox pen. Eckerslay just 97 pitches. And this should do it. Bob Baylor 0 for 3 is grounded out 3 times. And he'll line out to Remy. And that'll do it. So the Red Sox win to remain alive here. I score 5-1. So Bassetti breaks up spoils the Eckerslay shutout and the one-hitter. Still a fine performance. Eckersley's still going to get player of the game. Win number 25 on the season. That should basically solidify his Cy Young Award winner there. 25-8 on the season. Complete game, allowing only 2 hits, 1 run. That home run to Bassetti you just saw. No walks and 4 strikeouts. Jefferson goes the distance, pitching 8 innings, allowing 4 hits, 5 runs. Only 2 of those 5 runs were earned, as they committed 2 errors, one by Jefferson himself and one by Howell. So 4 walks and 4 strikeouts. For the Red Sox, Rick Burleson was 1 for 3 with 2 RBIs. Remy 0 for 4. Rice 0 for 3 with an intentional walk. Yastrzemski 0 for 4 with an RBI. Fisk 1 for 4 with a solo homer. Fredlin 1 for 3 with a run batted in. With a run scored. Hobson was 0 for 3 with a run scored. Scott was 1 for 2 with a run scored. And Brohammer 0 for 2 with a run scored. So for the Blue Jays, not much to say there. Bassetti 1 for 4 with that solo home run you just saw. Baylor 0 for 4. Howell and Mayberry and Woods. No, Howell and Mayberry both 0 for 3. Woods 1 for 3 with that double. He only hit off Eckerslay up until that home run. Upshaw 0 for 3, as was Ashby and McKay. Gomez 0 for 2, and Johnson as a pinch hitter was 0 for 1. So that is it. So the Red Sox pull to within 1.5 games now, barring the New York game today. So if the Yankees win today, that will eliminate the Red Sox. But if the Cleveland can pull off a miracle and beat the Yankees today and Figueroa, then the Red Sox will be within 1 game with 1 game left. So if the Yankees lose today, then it'll be up to tomorrow. If the Red Sox win and the Yankees lose tomorrow, then it will force a 1-game playoff. Wouldn't that be something? But if the Yankees still control their destiny, if they can win either today or tomorrow, then they will clinch the AL East. So thank you for joining me, and we'll see you in the next game when I'll play as the Cleveland Indians against the New York Yankees. In game 161. This is game 161 from Fenway. So Mr. Brody, Miss Mag's Purple Monkey say we'll see you in the next video. So take care and God bless. Bye-bye now.